What's up, YouTube? Back at you with another video. Basically, in the last, I think, about 12 days ago, Will Smith dropped an apology video called "It's Been a Minute," and I saw it, just once through. But obviously, during the time that it dropped, I was on a bit of a break from YouTube. So basically, I want to give my thoughts on what he said, what people have been saying, and my thoughts on the situation, being about 3 or 4 months removed from this whole entire situation that happened at the Oscars. So without saying too much more, let's get into it.
Why didn't you apologize to Chris in your acceptance speech?
Because he didn't owe Chris an apology, bro. I'm sorry. He didn't owe Chris an apology. All right, let me stop.
I was fogged out by that point. It's all fuzzy. I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out.
All right, first of all, Chris Rock has been on record saying that he shook off the slap and that he's not a victim. Like, he actually said this. This is his own words. What I make of Chris Rock not wanting to speak to Will is basically Chris Rock, up until this point, has been exploiting victim culture. What I mean by victim culture is people tend to support and flock to who they perceive to be a victim. So Chris Rock was there to do a job. He was there to host the Oscars, and he got slapped doing his job. People feel bad for him. People feel that he was bullied. People feel that he was, physically assaulted, etc., etc. Since then, Chris Rock's career has benefited from that whole ordeal. Chris Rock making amends with Will Smith would pretty much bring that, surplus of support and ticket sales and all of that to a halt. Things will go back to the way it was. Nobody was really talking about Chris Rock prior to that. So his stock and his cachet as a comedian has skyrocketed since then. So he's not going to go and talk to Will Smith and say, you know what, Will, I forgive you. He's not going to do that. You know why? Because his ticket sales are going to go from the $350 that they shot up to back to, $59.99 or $70, whatever. Now, I'm not bashing Chris Rock as just a person, or not as a person, but as a public figure, because like I said, he's rich, he's successful. Who am I? Who am I to really, hate on that? But I'm just going to call a spade, and that's what he's doing.
So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk.
Which is, August 33rd. September 42nd, August 53rd. Like, it's never going to happen. And when it does, it's going to be way after the fact. Chris Rock, his management, his agents, everybody behind him and around him, they know exactly what they are doing as far as the handling of this situation on their end. They know exactly what they're doing. They're just exploiting victim culture. Now, I'm not saying that, there are certain victims out there, who are also public figures that haven't, they haven't all done that. I'm not saying that the same could be said for everybody who happens to be a victim. But we all know Rihanna, after the whole Chris Brown assault, her career went up. What's her name? Taylor Swift, after Kanye West, went up on stage and interrupted her award acceptance, whatever, her career went up. So on and so forth. Tracy Morgan, after he got into that, crazy, serious, car accident or whatever, his career went up. So again, when things happen to people in this day and age now, they benefit from it. So Chris Rock, I'm not saying, whatever, but all I'm saying is he knows exactly what he's doing. But all right, let me continue.
I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I saw an interview that Chris's mother did, and that was one of the things about that moment. I just didn't realize, and I wasn't thinking, but how many people got hurt in that moment. So I want to apologize to Chris's mother. I want to apologize to Chris's family, specifically Tony Rock. We had a great relationship. Tony Rock was my man.
All right, let me say something real quick. Now, I don't know either of them personally, right? Okay, but Will and Tony Rock, they work together on All of Us, which is, a show with Dwayne Martin, Lisa Ray McCoy, and Tony Rock, and one other actress, I can't remember her name, Levita from the Steve Harvey Show. And look, man, just because you work with somebody or you have had, run-ins with somebody, maybe you guys used to have a professional relationship or whatever, that don't mean you guys are friends. Because I understand, with a lot of people, family over everything. If you were to punch somebody's, brother or sister in the face, all bets are off and they're going to get at you. I understand that. Now, from the outside looking in, the whole Oscar slap situation, in my opinion, was, I would say, 3/4 a misunderstanding, and then the quarter left was basically all Chris Rock's fault, in my opinion. Maybe we can give, Will Smith the lesser percentage of the blame, because we all can agree that Will didn't really have to go on stage and slap him, but you can watch my initial reaction. I understand why, but I'm not gonna go over that. You could watch that other video. Anyway, Tony Rock's first reaction was basically to lambast Will Smith publicly and say, "Oh yeah."
Because if you think you're gonna walk up on this stage, this ain't the motherfucking Oscars. And if you walk your ass up here, you ain't nominated for shit but these motherfucking hands. Oh, we gon' pop the rest of the year, nigga.
Like, first of all, Tony Rock, no one's scared of you, dog. You know what I'm saying? And then his other brother, Kenny Rock, was doing the same thing. Kenny Rock was on 42nd Street basically trying to challenge Will Smith to a celebrity boxing match.
Right now, it seems like you don't have an opponent. Who is it that you want to fight?
Any and everybody.
Oh my goodness.
Anybody willing to step up and take on the challenge?
Are you nervous?
I'll keep that between myself.
Man, I smell something, man. You smell something? I definitely smell something in my hair. I smell pussy.
And it's like, in order for you to participate in a celebrity boxing match, you gotta be a celebrity. Nobody knew Kenny Rock existed before this whole thing even happened. And then on top of that, this man ended up fighting some dude from like the real world or something like 10 years ago. And then he got his ass whooped. And then he showed up in the boxing ring with like a hoodie on, basketball shorts, and basketball shoes. Like, no wonder he got his ass whooped.
Did you used to fight before?
Yes, I did for over 15 years.
Okay, see, we didn't.
Over 15 years.
So, the way that those three have conducted themselves since the whole Oscar situation has just showed me that on their minds, they thought, let me capitalize on that. Let me just capitalize and take advantage and exploit. That's all the three of them were doing. I'm not going to say anything about Chris Rock's mother because I don't know what she said. But obviously a mother's going to feel like that about it, so I'm not going to, disagree with her. But those three, they're three peas in a pod. Like, all three of them, they know exactly what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? If Tony Rock was really like, if he felt the same way, because guess what? Will Smith felt like, yo, that's my man. That's my boy. Right? In his mind, he told himself that. But Tony Rock is like, yo, I don't rock with Will Smith. He wasn't, that's not your man's. He wasn't rocking with you. Because again, the first thing that he thought in his mind was, yo, Will Smith can catch these hands. If they were really friends, Tony Rock would have called Will like, yo, what's up? It wouldn't have been anything that he talked about on stage at one of his shows.
Cause your bitch gave you a side eye?
You see what I'm saying? Like, Chris Rock, if he was really friends with Will, they would have settled it already. They would have been solved it either that night, the next day, maybe the week after that. None of this would be going on right now. It's because they know that Will is going to be going on an apology tour for probably the next 2 years. Society is not going to let Will Smith live this situation down, and the three of them know that. You have pretty much the most successful black actor in the last 30 years pretty much made a mistake on national television. Now they knocked him off, so then now they're trying to capitalize on the money that Will Smith might not make. You know, so these guys are straight malicious, man.
And this is probably irreparable.
That's all right, Will. It's okay. You don't want friends like that.
I spent the last 3 months replaying and understanding the nuances and the complexities of what happened in that moment.
Real quick, see, to Will, there were nuances and complexities and just, you know, different aspects of the situation that he's been going over and over and over in his mind. Chris Rock probably hasn't thought about this situation once in that way. You see what I'm saying? See, to him, it's so complex. To Chris Rock, it's simple. I got slapped. I'm not going to sue him, but I'm gonna pretty much stretch this whole situation out for as long as I can. And when I finally do squash with him, it's going to be when it's convenient for me. So who's really the bad guy here? Ask yourself that question.
And I'm not going to try to unpack all of that right now.
You don't got to,
but
man.
I can say to all of you, there is no part of me that thinks that was the right way to behave in that moment. There's no part of me that thinks that's the optimal way to handle a feeling of disrespect or insults.
So the night that the Oscar slap happened, I went off, you know, because I'm a Will Smith fan, but I'll get to that a little bit later. And because I'm such a big fan of his, my immediate reaction is to defend and support this guy, right? So I'm just all in. I looked at the situation. I assessed it for myself. I didn't really care too much for Chris Rock anyway, so I'm going to get behind Will. Now, granted, that was a checker move. Like, Will Smith was playing checkers. See, Chris Rock in that moment, he was playing chess because he didn't retaliate. He didn't say anything. He just did the job that he was supposed to do. So in that regard, I have no choice but to respect it because he was a chess player. Will Smith felt offended. He went on stage. He just, you know, in checkers, you just move back and forth. But in chess, you can't do that. You might have to step back. You might have to go around. You might have to do different things. Hindsight, I would rather have told Will, or if I knew him, or if I was Will myself, I would have handled it a different way. I would have talked to him off camera, but not on. See, one of my favorite YouTubers, one of my favorite boxing YouTubers, he said something, or he used to say something that really resonated, and it comes to my mind right now. And he says, not on game day. Like, there's just certain things that you can do, but not on game day. Like, not when it matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like if you're in a basketball game or something, and then it's like a tied game in the fourth quarter. You only got 30 seconds left, and then the point guard or the shooting guard on the opposite team like pushes and shoves you to try to knock you off your game, and then you could retaliate and punch him in the face to retaliate because he disrespected you. Not on game day, like not when it matters. So he's right. There's always a better way, to handle things, and I hate that. On the night where he received one of the greatest accolades that an actor could ever receive, now there's Oscar slap in parentheses. Yeah, he won an Oscar for King Richard, but he slapped Chris Rock in the face, which kind of sort of, I don't want to say negates it, but it's just kind of like it just took away from his moment. And I wish that Will didn't do it, because like I said, to me, it's just Will Smith is the greatest of all time. And like Eddie Griffin says, it's rare that you have a black entertainer that comes into the industry and then leaves out scot-free. There's always an asterisk next to somebody's name. And if Will didn't really have one before, he has one now. And I feel like, I mean, not that I feel like, I know he's going to have to, apologize for this for the next, 2 years, minimum. So.
Jada rolled her eyes. Did she tell you to do something? No. It's like, I made a choice on my own, from my own experiences, from my history with Chris. Jada had nothing to do with it. I'm sorry, babe. I'm going to say sorry to my kids and my family for the heat that I brought on all of us. To all my fellow nominees, this is a community. It's like I won because you voted for me. And it really breaks my heart to have stolen and tarnished your moment. I can still see Questlove's eyes. It happened on Questlove's award, and it's like I'm sorry really isn't sufficient. What would you say to the people who looked up to you before the slap, or people who expressed that you let them down?
I'm just gonna say this right now. As a lifelong fan of Will Smith, I've been a fan of this guy since I was like 3, 4, 5 years old. Like, he was my introduction to rap music, and he was the guy that, like, I didn't listen to any other rappers until I was in like the 5th grade. So Will Smith was the only rapper that I listened to up until the 5th freaking grade. So he didn't let me down, not one bit, from this situation. It's something that Willow Smith said, like, he's human, like, he made a mistake. I think it's because it's Will Smith, people are harping on it because they're like, oh, we got you, like, we finally got him, like, yes. He, like, nah, like, any real fans of Will Smith, we're not tripping. I don't know too many Will Smith fans, like, on my level of, like, fandom and all of that, but I'm not tripping off of that.
So there's two things. One, disappointing people is my central trauma. I hate when I let people down. So it hurts. It hurts me psychologically and emotionally to know I didn't live up to people's image and impression of me. And
yo, anybody who feels like their opinion of Will Smith was tainted by all of this, they weren't real Will Smith fans to begin with. That's all I'm saying. Like, if somebody has done right by you, and we're talking about somebody like Will Smith who has had pretty much the pinnacle, the best career that any actor could only hope to have. Didn't curse in his music. All his movies were like PG-13 at most. You know what I'm saying? Like, had the picture perfect family, he's a great dad. Like, my whole entire life, like, I wish that, like, Will Smith was my dad. Like, and then even if he wasn't, his trainer Darrell Foster said something where he was just like, you could be anybody's son if you follow their teachings and listen to what they say and do, and then you model yourself after that. So it's like I applied that to somebody like Will Smith. So it's like I took pages out of his book. So if people say they don't like Will Smith, then they probably won't like me either, because I learned so much from this man. So it's just like, people like that are fair weather. They're not really your friends. They're only your friends as long as you're doing the right thing. And then when you do something wrong, they're not going to be there for you. They're not going to support you. And there are a lot of people that still rock with Will Smith, but for the people that threw him under the bus or threw, dirt on his name, threw rocks at him, fuck him.
The work I'm trying to do is, I am deeply remorseful, and I'm trying to be remorseful without being ashamed of myself, right? I'm human, and
exactly,
I made a mistake, and
you don't have permission to make mistakes when you're a public figure. When you are a top tier A-list celebrity and you're black, you're not allowed to make mistakes. You are not allowed to make mistakes. It's like Michael Jordan. It's like when people found out that Michael Jordan was a gambler, and then there were so many, well, I would say there were situations that occurred after that came out that had people, you know, asking questions and saying, oh, he's not a good role model because he gambles and stuff. When you are the pinnacle of success and people view you as a role model, you don't even have like permission to have moments. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have, you know, like celebrities walking down the street and you got paparazzis like insulting them and criticizing them and trying to impede their path in some way, shape, or form. And it's just like, yo, you know what I mean? Damn.
I'm trying not to think of myself as a piece of shit.
You're not a piece of shit, Will. You are not a piece of shit.
I would say to those people, I know it was confusing. I know it was shocking.
It didn't confuse me. It wasn't shocking either.
But I promise you, I am deeply devoted and committed to putting light and love and joy into the world. And, you know, if you hang on, I promise we'll be able to be friends again.
Man, let me tell you something. That's all Will Smith has done since he was a rapper in the 80s, was just shine a light on people. And like there's not too many celebrities like Will Smith who they open the curtain into their life so you can learn from them and then give knowledge and then just insight and information. Like, let me tell you something, bro. I've heard stories about Chris Rock being standoffish. I've heard stories about Chris Rock not being a nice person when you approach him. Like, he's like, oh, shit, oh, get away from me. But I've heard, you know, Will Smith always being a nice guy. And then the one time he wasn't, he told you about it. The one time Will Smith wasn't a good guy to somebody, or he felt he wasn't a good guy, he told you about it and broke down crying, telling you the story. Most celebrities are not as forthcoming about the more human aspects about themselves, the way that Will Smith is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had a moment on stream where I caught wind of that story and I was talking about it. Like that, like that's like, yo, like I'm a big fan of Will Smith, right? Will Smith, he's mad approachable, like, and he's 10 times richer than a lot of these boxers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could walk up to Will Smith, if he can give you an autograph, he'll give you an autograph, bro. You know what I'm saying? And Kevin Hart said that. He was like, yo, like they were at a red carpet or some shit. And he said that when he saw Will Smith, the first thing Will Smith said was, yo, let's go connect with the fans. That's the first thing he said. And I want to be like that. I want to support somebody that, like, wouldn't even have the decency to, like, be positive if they met me. Fuck them. Like, who the fuck are you? Like, Mad Diddy, like people are just trash. And the world is literally comprised of people who are like that, like trash ass pieces of shit human. Like, I couldn't even call them human beings because they're just trash. They're just trash. I fucking hate people, to be honest with you.
I love you. G.I Jane 2, can't wait to see it. Alright?
Yep. So if you want to know what's wrong with the world, that's why. Because people don't want to be held accountable for their shitty ass attitudes and behaviors. Not a lot of celebrities can compare to who Will Smith is off screen. Right? Now, again, I don't know Will Smith. I've never had the privilege of meeting him, so I don't know what it's like. But you don't hear too many bad things about this guy, if at all. And then when you do hear bad things about him or what people say, it's like these people aren't even around him to even know these things anyway. They're just basic haters. It's like motherfuckers who don't like me. It's like, well, I would say this. Nine times out of 10, the people that dislike me, I don't even fucking know them. Like, they haven't had not one conversation with me. I don't know them personally. So it's like, what can they even really say about me anyway? Everybody that's ever said anything bad about Will Smith, they don't even know him. Like, they were never former friends. Like, nah. So it's like a lot of that shit I take with a grain of salt. The bottom line and the point that I'm trying to get to is that people need to question the moral ground that they stand on when they say out loud that Will Smith is a bully, or Will Smith, you know, is a bad person, or that Chris Rock was, you know, just victimized and all this shit. Like, bullshit, all right? Because the joke that Chris Rock told right before he said the G.I Jane joke, that was like family friendly. Like, that was okay. Like, whatever it is he said about, I think, like Penelope Cruz and her husband or whatever, that was fine. Like, that was related to the Oscars. So that was a joke about, like, just something very general. It wasn't like a jab at someone's physical attributes. That shit wasn't, you know, PG. He made a joke about the way that somebody looks, and they didn't find it funny, and he didn't respect it.
That was a nice one. Okay.
That's the thing. It's like when you say something about someone, and then you see like a visual indicator that they feel insulted or bothered by something that you said, and then you tell them, oh, that was a nice one. Oh, I could have said something worse, but oh, I said that. He didn't apologize. Like, I bet you that shit probably wasn't even in the script. That wasn't in his cue cards. That shit wasn't on the teleprompter either. Because when you host the Oscars, they don't let you just freestyle. You know what I'm saying? Or they made a mistake by letting Chris Rock ad-lib and freestyle on stage. Because the majority of what these people say, even the people who accept speeches usually, at least from what I know, they're reading from teleprompters. Like, Will Smith knew he was going to win the award prior to that. And most award shows, they operate like that. So they give you time to prepare what you're going to say. I guess maybe they could have it prepared for you on the teleprompter, because usually they know when you're running out of time. You know, like, someone's accepting an award, they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I know I'm running out of time, but I'd like to thank this and that. So, regardless, Chris Rock shouldn't have said that. And it's like, people in life, in these sorts of situations, a lot of times people always want to focus on the last thing that happened. There's a beginning, there's a middle, and then there's an end. So if I got to slap somebody, people never pay attention to, you know, what happened before that. All people want to focus on is the last thing that happened. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, what happened before that? Well, what led me to that? You know what I'm saying? Like, he started it. So bullies are usually the ones that go around starting shit, and then the kid that finally reacts is the one that gets in trouble because he's the one that put an end to it. Because you got to understand, a little bit earlier, he said he had a history with Chris Rock. We don't know the ins and outs of their, you know what I'm saying? Because if Will Smith was really friends with Chris Rock, he would have known that it was just a joke. They're not friends. Like, so if I don't even know you like that and you saying some shit to me, of course I'm going to take it some type of way, because I don't know you like that. I don't know you to know that it's harmless or that you're just playing. And then if you know me very well, then you would know not to play like that in the first place.
You said to me, I haven't even tried any sex moves on you yet. Yet? What the fuck you mean yet? I'm a grown-ass man. Yet? On live TV, I will fuck you up. Trust me.
I only meant it as a joke.
Okay, well, you should have laughed afterwards. Because I didn't laugh.
So, it eats me up inside to see Will Smith in that type of position. Because, like I said, like, when everybody made me feel like I couldn't do anything, like, with my life, like, I couldn't be anything greater than what I was, or that I couldn't aspire for anything more, Will Smith was the one that told me I could do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was the one that throughout my whole entire life was just like a positive light that I could always turn to. Like, in my darkest moment, I could always throw on a Will Smith movie. I could always throw on a Will Smith interview. I could always, you know what I'm saying, like, think of what he would do in a situation and then try to, you know, operate within those parameters. It's like real shit. Like, my father stood over me one day and told me, you can't do it. Like, just calling me out of my name, disrespecting me, putting me down, all this shit. I remember I literally just threw on a Will Smith interview and cried. And then just tunnel vision, like, you can do it, you can do it.
Hey. Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. All right? You got a dream, You gotta protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period.
You know what I'm saying? Like the pursuit of happiness moment. He was like, yo, never let someone tell you that you can't do something. And meanwhile, my father is like right in my ear, standing over me, just belittling me, lambasting and all that shit. So it's like there's nothing that someone could ever say to me that'll make me feel like Will Smith is a bad guy, like he's a bad person, because it's not true. It's a lie. I don't care if a billion people are not rocking with Will Smith. I'm not gonna be a part of that lynch mob. I don't care what happens. Like it would take for him to like some R. Kelly shit, you know, and then even then I would just kind of check out of the Will Smith fan club. But other than like the extreme, that's not gonna happen, man. That is not gonna happen. Like not a lot of celebrities would write a book like this. That book felt like an open letter to me. So it's like even if I never, you know, get to meet Will Smith, it's like I feel like I met him vicariously through that book. It's like that conversation that I always wanted to have with him. It's like I had it through this book, and I felt privileged just to be able to spend $30 just to get to read all of that. Because for somebody like me that again didn't have a lot of positive, you know, figures in my life that wanted to uplift me and all of that, it's like I get excited to watch something new from Will Smith, to hear him say something, and just to, it's always an opportunity to learn watching this man. So it's like, again, when people attack him, I feel like they're attacking me. And I'm a loyal ass dude. It's like if I met Will Smith would probably be thrilled to know a guy like me because I'm loyal as fuck and I'm real. You know what I'm saying? And most people that again dislike him just because of that, they wasn't really rocking with him in the first place. So I'm a Will Smith fan for life. Again, you can see it all on my channel. It just, the influence is just there. You know what I'm saying? Like I even made a remix to the Joyner Lucas Will song. You know what I'm saying? I made a whole remix to that. Like so again, I'm not tripping. You know, I'm always gonna support Will Smith. I hate to see him on this apology tour, but like I've said since 2020, no Will Smith slander will be tolerated, period. And with that said, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Good luck.